So here we are once again together. It's an honor to be here today. Not only would I be your platform support, but I get to speak and meditate with you. So thank you for just being here and sharing this sacred space. It's a big day. Our prayer chaplains are being inducted for one more year. And right after this service, you'll hear more about the details later, but we're having a Cinco de Mayo celebration, so I hope you can all stick around and continue the love and the fellowship. Remember that we are indeed a spiritual community that wants to awake to our divine nature through love, service, and personal transformation. And we do that day by day. And I want you to please stand and join us in singing Day by Day.
Day by day, day by day, day by day, day by Lord, dear Lord, three things I pray, to see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day.
Welcome and good morning. My name is Emily, and Emily Gabriel, if you're interested in my last name, it's a full one. And I am happy to be bringing some announcements to you today. If this is your first time in Unity, welcome. You'll hear a little bit more about what we do through our announcements. And if this is one of your many visits to Unity, I hope you'll also take advantage of all the great things that we have available. Today, Cinco de Mayo, we'll be celebrating after the service in the fellowship hall. We have a Latin-inspired celebration with a Caribbean-inspired menu, and tickets are $10. You can purchase them outside. Hopefully you've already purchased those tickets. If not, we'll be available to sell them to you as well. And then we also have a sidewalk listening project. For those of you who are familiar with it, we're doing training on Saturday, May 11th for new volunteers in the morning, and then for all volunteers starting at 11:30. This is in preparation for the next listening session, which is on May 25th. So details in the bulletin and on this handy little guy here. And then in addition to that, May 12th, we have our youth-led service, and the YOU group is also having a fundraiser. They're building funds for their Summer Connection Rally, which they'll be attending in Asheville in June. Tickets will be sold on May 12th and May 19th for their car wash, and they'll also be selling natural products, jewelry, baked goods, and more. You'll purchase the tickets on the 12th and the 19th for the car wash that's on the 24th and the 25th. Again, feel free to reference the newsletter. But we're excited to support them in their efforts and also have our cars cleaned after all this pollen. So on May 12th, we're also doing a Meet the Artist in the Fellowship Hall. Bob Rankin has displayed his artwork in the Fellowship Hall and will be available to chat and to share our gratitude for his work. And then in addition to that, the next community art, the next thing that's going up in the Fellowship Hall is your work. So it's a community art exhibit art must be available to hang on a wall, but that's really the only parameter. There's more information about that, and hope you participate. I'd love to see what you're all up to creatively. Speaking of creativity, there is an open mic night coming up. So, yay. If you have a song to sing or a joke to tell or something along those lines, on May 16th, please join us from 7 to 9 and share your talents or emerging talents, and let's all entertain each other. Please join us in getting our vocal cords warmed up further as we sing our welcome song. Please stand.
Welcome into this place. Welcome into this open vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our hearts as we offer up this praise unto your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this open vessel. You desire to abide in the praises of your people. So we lift our hands and we lift our hearts as we offer up this praise unto your name.
And we'll offer up that praise to one another the Latin way. Bring it on.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Good morning. We invite all the members, past and present, of the prayer ministry to please stand and join us as we support with prayer all of the prayer intentions in the prayer box. Let us pray. we allow the breath to gently relax our attention and attachment to outer circumstances and conditions. We breathe into the sacred portal of our open heart space, and we embrace the divine within. We enfold every prayer intention and every individual in need of prayer into the fullness of God's power and presence. We affirm the indwelling sufficiency and divine nature of every being, and we know that we are inseparably joined with our God and our good. We give thanks for the unfoldment of our ultimate blessings that is guaranteed and irreversible, and all is well. Amen.
Today we're going to honor one of the hearts of our church, and that's the Prayer Chaplain Program. This group of individuals has stepped up to a higher level of service than most other volunteer teams here. They actually go through 30 hours or more of training to become a prayer chaplain, and they commit to 1 year of service, which is a little bit different than some of our other opportunities. As Anna has mentioned, prayer is the foundation of unity, and of course the prayer chaplains pray. But they also follow the fifth principle, which is live it. As prayer chaplains, they're just not here on Sunday morning to pray with you. They're actually living the principles and have a daily prayer practice every day. So we honor them, and we are thanking them, and we're inducting them today for their service as they start a new year. They're actually holding sacred space in the service every single Sunday and throughout the week for each and every one of you. They pray on Sunday morning, and they love to pray, so please come forward and pray for a joy or a challenge. There are 3 locations where they pray in the church. They also call members once a month and support them in prayer for that time. We will be in the lobby also after the service if you have questions about prayer chaplain service. This is a way to step up your spiritual transformation. They open their hearts, and they're available to facilitate the presence for you, but they also have an own transformation within themselves by stepping into this service. So today we'd like to honor each and every one of them and remind you that they have a role of 4 things. They hold sacred space, they lovingly listen, they pray, and they hold in confidence what is shared. So our first person is our team leader, Janet Sears. And please hold your applause to the end. Bonnie Childs. Donna Hall. Stacy Allen. Rebecca Moore. Sean Sears. Diana Mead. Linda Engel. Carol Hessenflow. Barbara Johnson. Marianella Rodriguez. And we have 4 people who are not here today: Linda Griffin, Karen Hawkins, Tim Oak, and Susie Savillon. And the last person is myself, Mimi Lowe Miller.
Okay, well, it is our time to bless them just like they bless us. And before we do that, I would love for you to take a moment and just see how much beauty we have here for you. A beauty that transcends the physical, even though they're beautiful too. But it's just, we just see your light. And we want to say thank you for all you do and for the love which is given. So please all stand and let's do the unity blessing. Come to your heart. We connect with yours. And we say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Now let us join for our meditation chant. Please be welcome to this sacred experience of meditation. All of us together. If you haven't not done so yet, please close your eyes and start breathing mindfully. Sending that message to the body that it's time to relax. As we inhale and exhale, we're sending that message that all is well. All is well. We fall into the heart space. the doorway to our God. To your own God. The one that you relate to every day. The one that created you. And gave you life. The one on whose love you can depend forever. So walk into that door. And let God's love find you, embrace you, and hold you at this moment. Surrender to that love. That love will never fail you, even if you doubt it, even if you can't experience it. God's love is the only constant, the only safe place to be. The one we can fully rely on. And if you need a visual at this moment, imagine you are the sheep and God is the shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Sureness, goodness, and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. El Señor es mi pastor, nada me falta. Él es mi fuerza, es mi salvación. Él me conduce por buenos caminos y me protege de todo mal. Por valles de sombra voy caminando, pero el Señor es siempre mi luz. En las tinieblas me muestra el camino hasta llevarme a su mansión. How can there be so much gratitude for this love? This love that we are all sharing as the community that we are. And we extend it right here and right now to every direction, trusting that love knows what to do, who to bless, who to heal, who to inspire. We rest in this awareness that as we have experienced this love, it's being shared and multiplied in known and unknown ways. We are so full. God is enough, and all is well. And we join in a moment of silence in Holy Communion with the one and one another.
this day our daily bread. You said you would supply all my needs according to your riches. I have but to ask, and I shall receive. To go from here and share this love you gave to me, to show someone who's lost and help them find their way, the way to truth and faith, so they can be free like me, free like me. Lord, we are your love. Lord, we are your peace. Lord, we are your joy. This day.
We'd like to acknowledge the online family that is now part of our services. We have been streaming now the full service, so I want to acknowledge your presence here. We might not see you physically, but we feel your love and your connection, and we're glad that you made it somehow through the internet to where we're at. Just came back from my island, Puerto Rico. I was there for 3 days, had a short visit. But each time I go now, I try to work in a show. As you know, for 2 years, I've been doing this radio show, half an hour, that gets published or aired at the Unity online station, and also in a Univision station in the island that happened to be one of the few stations on the air during the hurricane. And each time I go, I have mixed feelings because it's a great experience just to be there and do what I'm doing. But I take calls, and I always fear that somebody will just say, hey, you didn't say this right or whatever. But they have all been so loving and grateful of what we've been doing in the show. And this particular Monday, I saw myself there with my parents, these two Unity ministers whom I've known for over 30 years, and one of them was like the first Unity person I ever saw in my life, and she became like one of my mentors. We traveled to Russia in the early 90s, and after that trip she says, why don't you come to the Unity school here and become a teacher or minister? And then my childhood friend, we've known each other since we were one, and she's the one doing the media for me, and I'm with all of them, and especially me interviewing this person that I would look up to, right? And then for a moment, I'm like, wow, I live in North Carolina. I've been living here 8 years. I'm the associate minister of this church. I'm doing all the Spanish ministry besides everything else that I'm doing. I'm now single, kids have grown up, and I look back 10 years ago, and I look to my life right now, and I'm like, everything's so different. But the only constant, I must say, has been God and this inner calling to somehow help other people spiritually on their path. And I really feel that all of my life has prepared me for this particular moment in my, should I tell you my age? In my early 50s. You should go, oh, really? No, come on. Okay, well, anyways. And I think that many of you probably feel the same way, that we are led here initially maybe because we're not satisfied in the religious systems that we're in, and we might be going through life experiences and we don't feel that we get the enough support from the system we were at. But we make it here to realize that there's so much more, and that everything that we've done and grown in consciousness can really make a huge difference in our communities and in our world. And stop to think for a moment what it means to be on this path. The belief system or the principles that we are standing on, we really believe as Unity people that we are one, that one with one another and one with God. We really honor and see the value of all religions. We respect all ways of lifestyles. We genuinely know that we are first spiritual beings in an evolving process to find our full realization. We believe in divine order, and we believe that there's a good power, God the good, that is always present and looking to express itself in every way at every moment. Without realizing that in addition to having that belief system transform us and transforming our lives in which we are prospering, or we find a newer purpose, or we heal, the biggest impact, really, I believe, that has to do with how we are touching the world. I believe that our transformation matters to us, but matters so much more to the collective. And think about it like a person that is truly anchored on truth, on the idea, again, that there's only one presence, one power, one mind, God the good, and that good is in potential at all times. A person who somehow has some sort of spiritual practice that allows us to stay more centered, less fearful, more forgiving, more compassionate, more understanding. Immediately or almost automatically, we truly become beacons of goodness and light and beauty into the world. And not only that, but I believe that now we are so ready to work on higher purposes, on what I feel is like God purposes. And the more we grow, the more we expand, the more we heal. It's like we are saying to Spirit, I'm in. It's like 24/7, I'm on call, right? It feels to me like a love affair with the divine, in which, we find this connection, we find this communion, we find this state of heaven on earth. Not that we are perfect and it happens all the time, but there's this underlying sense of safety and security that that makes us really like walking instruments of the light. And I believe that that is the aim of our church. We are here, and the Unity movement, for genuine transformation for God. Like Mother Teresa would say, to be the pencil with which God writes. And I like to think that it's like God can rewrite other people's stories through me, or that the divine can generate miracles through me. And I'm thinking, what could be more noble than that? What could give us more purpose and meaning than that? It's like I love Jesus saying, which I learned that the day that I was born, it was the scripture on my daily word. John 8:28, as I'm lifted from the earth, all men will be drawn unto myself. As we are lifted up into a new level of consciousness, everybody else at some level does too. Thinking about, this is all might sound so beautiful and poetic and inspirational, and then so many times we are faced, especially lately, with all these mass shootings and terrorist attacks and religion intolerance, many of that. But I know that as unity people, I don't know if you feel that way, at least I do, there's this sense of safety that knows that there is no place where God is not. That there is, in the midst of whatever might seem like awful and chaotic, there's always a blessing and some good trying to look for. That in truth, the violence, it's not real in itself. It's really a state of total separation from God and feeling separate and giving something else the power. I'm not to say that we don't feel the pain. Like I was getting my nails done yesterday and I'm watching the news and I'm looking at a picture of this hero guy at the UNC shooting earlier this week, and my heart went like, you know, I could only think of the parents and family. But I'm like, no, I'm not giving in to the fear. I'm staying with my heart open. I'm staying faithful and hopeful. I many times try to tell myself, that's really a call for me to be doing and to continue doing what I'm doing. To take it deeper, to be a stronger collaborator with this is going to sound really, salvation of the world, the healing of the world. And many of us find this path and stay on this path because we're so ready, but it does require some desire and dedication to stay present to the practice, which is what, to me, keeps us pure, keeps us connected to the source and not to the worldly noise, connected to our really, like our deepest mission here, which is what we say every Sunday, to awake so that others might awake too, and can create this domino effect that can lead to the manifestation of that good that we so claim. A path that has the destination of having us be that Christ presence in the world, in that corner right where you're at. That's where you're meant to be and do the work. And I know it might sound like too big, but it's a daily, moment by moment task that we get to choose, where we place our thoughts, our emotions. Is it outside, or is it really connected to the truth that we know and that power and presence? So today, having the prayer chaplains being inducted and me reflecting on all of this, I'm like, the prayer chaplains are doing it. I mean, I know Mimi described, but think about it. These people for a whole year commit to a daily prayer practice. They're going to call members every month. They're going to be here Sundays to pray for you or with you. They meet every month. And knowing Mimi as the leader, you have to behave. But really, I see this program that is, you're standing up on the truth that says, this matters. This is important. It's like the way you're loving God or loving the world or loving humanity through prayer. Is in prayer an act of love? where I'm reaching out to you and I'm holding the highest for you and for your life. And I tell myself, what could be more important than that? Then I started fantasizing. I'm like, what if the 100% of our congregants were part of our prayer ministry? What impact could we have? Think about it. We might be between the Sacred Prayer Circle and the prayer chaplains could be like 50, but on and off we might have 500 people here. Imagine 500 people who are saying yes to a daily way of living that includes silence, affirmations, connections. It's like the story of the experiment of the monkeys. You've probably heard, and I'm just paraphrasing, but in the 50s there was some sort of experiment with some monkeys that were, this first monkey realized he was eating the sweet potato with sand. And when they realized that if the sweet potato would be rinsed, it would actually taste better. And then he started showing all the other monkeys in the community how to do that. And when they reached to be 100 monkeys, other monkeys in other islands were doing the same without being taught. Meaning that once you hit that critical mass, it's like that domino effects in which transformation is happening, and we don't know how, but we know we are all connected, and anything that is happening here is going to, one way or the other, impact everybody else. So today it's about upgrading your unity experience. That's what I call this, unity on steroids. So don't fly coach anymore. Go first class. And what does first class mean? We have, basically more participation. We got great volunteer opportunities, great classes, but we have a whole prayer unit, and I will tell you more soon, that we could all participate in. Think about, do I come to unity essentially to receive and to get? How much am I giving? Is it balanced? That's important to know, because the more balanced we are, the more we will thrive and grow and expand and impact. Because there's really power in consistency. I was sharing this morning that I have a Spanish prayer circle by phone that we've been doing this. Now this year will be 8 years, that every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, people call in. There's a core group, people come and go, but there's at least 20 people coming in every Wednesday. And I will have to use a whole new lesson to tell you about the miracles and the wonderful manifestations of this prayer work has done for us and people that we've been praying for, because we have been consistent. And beyond our own practices, when we do it together, everything gets amplified, right? So it's essentially today it's about a call to all of you miracle workers to step into a stronger experience here in prayer-wise. I do have a slide that talks about what unity has to offer. There's two things that I would like for you to go home with. The first one is that we got everything you need to fly first class, okay? First of all, I don't know if you're aware, but for the last 5 years or so, every Thursday you call that number and we're praying there. And this is the Sacred Prayer group, the group that prays over prayer intentions in their prayer box. They call in, and if you don't have time, you can visit our SoundCloud page and get a meditation every Thursday and join into that frequency. Prayer chaplains are here every single Sunday. And I know we say, hey, they're available for prayer, but think about it. Maybe one day you say, everything's good with me, but I would like to pray for that family who's, just lost their son and make a difference, right? Why not? Prayer classes, you might say, well, I don't really know exactly the Unity way, how to pray, or I could use some coaching or more information. There's 4 times a year, if you keep noticing that on the bulletin website and everything, that we offer prayer classes. And then the main 2 prayer groups, the Sacred Prayer Circle, like I said, all the prayers that get into the box are prayed over by this group, and then they get sent to Unity, Silent Unity, every week. We have a volunteer that gets all of that, gets blessed, and goes away to Missouri, to the headquarters. And of course, the prayer chaplains that are holding the consciousness together. And this is so important and core here, foundational, that we even have a full-time person, Mimi, Lowell Miller, and look at this upcoming picture. She is our pastoral care minister, and she's been doing this for years, Mimi, and I want to publicly say thank you. Thank you for all you're doing in your quiet state, because I know it's not only the wonderful things you've been doing, but for so long that Mimi says, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Holding the consciousness for the rest of us. And there's some information there. You can leave your prayer, her email, and everything. You can kiss her on the way out and say thank you. Everything is welcome. But beyond the aspect of what Unity has to offer, I would like to just challenge you a little as to the way to pray. And that is as personal as you, and there's as many ways to pray as people on earth, right? But I would like to make a case for bringing your heart into your spiritual practice. It's like if you're really in love with God, you know, it's like being in love with somebody. You don't go, oh, I got to go and see my sweetie. You know, you want to, right? It's not a duty. It's in you. Ram Dass, one of my beloved ones, I had the joy and the privilege of speaking to him for an hour. Actually, it was not much speaking. He just stared at me for like minutes. And my tears were like rolling down. I just could feel so much love. My heart chakra was like this. And he said, part of my spiritual practice, I go with it and I imagine that I'm with my guru and we have this conversation and I just have this exchange of energy and love. And when I open my eyes, all I feel is just love for humanity, my heart, and there's only love. But you see, it's like, it's almost from the tradition of Bhakti Yoga, in which we give the mind a little break. Unity, I love unity. I'm a unity minister. I believe in the power of affirmations and all of that. But don't forget this, because otherwise you could like, fall asleep with it. Bring the heart. The heart is the doorway. And that's something, that I have come to appreciate. When I've been gone 8 years and I rather live here. Believe me, I'm very Puerto Rican. I love my island, but I feel that this is my place. Still, I could sense the devotional nature of my people. And that somehow reconnects me. And maybe today I show you, I had to just display my untrained voice, but I really wanted you to feel my heart and that devotion that I have for God, I remember into this, making my point regarding the heart-centered nature of our culture, that I have this minister friend of mine who years ago, maybe like 10 years ago, she called me up telling me that her daughter was in a coma. Her daughter was like maybe a couple of years older than me and had suffered from cystic fibrosis all her life and had really done amazing because of all this prayer work and transformation that my friend had. But she went into a crisis and she was in a coma. As you know, cystic fibrosis, it's pus in your lungs. So there she is, her daughter is in critical care in the coma. And Julie calls me up and tells me, can you have your people pray for my daughter? I need heart here. And I remember I was going to this service in one of the churches in the metro area. And I had just finished doing the service. And I'm like, I remember, oh my God, she asked me to pray, to ask for prayers. And we were doing the peace song and we were about to do the prayer of protection, and we're holding hands, and I say, hey, excuse me, could you please pray with me for my friend's daughter, Leslie, and they all did together. We just prayed at the end of the service. And needless to say, she came out of the coma. I don't know if it was that or what happened, but something shifted. I could feel the energy, the substance of the love that knows that God is on our side always, that good wants to come forth at every moment, in every condition. So that is like my second part of the first class sitting. And if you might bring the last slide, which is about supersizing it. Upgrade your prayer experience. And don't limit it to receive it. How many of us just go to prayer with our wish list, which is fine? It's fine. But is that what prayer and the practice is all about? No, it's also about relating. It's also about praising. It's about thanking. Bringing your heart, and like I said, giving that mind a break. And this line that was sent to me this week, communing with God for God's purposes. Because that's what happens when we are in that communion, in that state. We hear, we feel. And lately, my latest message has been, Anna, you've been given too much. There's much to be given. And this sense of urgency. So take a deep breath with me at this moment and think, am I going to upgrade or stay in coach? Am I going to stay in my mind or going to come to my heart? We need you. The world needs you. Stay open and willing, receptive. All is well. We're going to culminate my talk with a praising song that the choir and Tim and Jay have prepared. And I want to rock this place because I want you to bring your heart. Today, I played the guitar and sang, and that's being out of my comfort zone. So if you're the ones that normally they sing and you go, no. I want you to get up and sing and feel and let that heart open, and let's just praise, 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 praise our God and set that vibration.
Every praise, every word of worship, every praise to our God. Every praise, every word of worship, every praise.
my God, will I get fired after this one? Okay, so thank you so much. Now it's our time to thank you for being such good sports and just standing up. Even George Davis was standing up. Thank you for that one. So now we come together to extend the love. And when we give, we are really practicing being an extension of the divine. And we give of our time, we give of our talent, and we give of our treasure, because this is what we are offering to the world by the transformation of one another. So bring your gift at this moment. You might be someone who does it electronically, but bring it on, at least in your awareness. And we're going to do this affirmation. Ushers are going to be coming in, and there's going to be some instrumental music. Just take that moment to just reflect on what you've heard and see what resonates with you and what you are ready for. You've been hired. So together, divine love asks me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
My name is Janice Falcon, and I'm the youth director, and I'm happy to announce or remind you that we are having our youth-led service next Sunday. Both services will be completely run by the youth, and we're very excited about that. Thank you. I hope you guys will come and enjoy the service. And we are also having our big fundraiser for the YOU, the older high school kids. They're going to Asheville for a week in June, and we're gonna do our fundraiser. We're gonna do a car wash fundraiser. And who doesn't need a car wash after all of the pollen, right? So we'll have them shining in and out, and more details at our table next Sunday. Thank you.
Janice, I just want to say thank you for all you're doing. So much light and so much love.
My pleasure.
Thank you, children. All volunteers. We bless this beautiful ministry, and we're going to bless you. You want a blessing, Milo? Yes? Okay. Everybody wants a blessing? Raise your hand if you want a blessing. Okay, we're on it. Together. You are loved, special, and important, just the way you are. And now we hold hands and sing the please song. Can I join you? Surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is